Crane believes that children are best raised in safe and loving families. However, that is not the case for many children in Uganda who are separated from their families for various reasons such as family breakdown, poverty, and abandonment. Many of the children separated from family care will most likely end up in orphanages and on the street. Our role as a network is to support children to either remain in family care through family strengthening initiatives, as well as supporting those separated from families return to family care. This could be to their biological families, to kinship families, to foster families as well. This is work that we do with the support of the church and NGOs as well as other stakeholders. With 84% of Ugandans identifying as Christian, the church is one of our greatest partners to get the message of family care across the country. It is for this reason that we've continued to strengthen our work with churches and church leaders over the past years through various partnerships. We work with churches and NGOs to prevent separation of families through positive parenting trainings, economic empowerment initiatives, marriage enrichment seminars, and counseling sessions. Through the trainings, we have challenged church leaders to consider how to strengthen their families, as well as how to pass on this training to other church leaders and their congregations. Annual campaigns such as the World Weekend of Prayer and the Good Treatment campaign have gone a long way in amplifying this message. Family groups are established in churches and communities, enabling parents to save together, start income-generating activities, and share positive messages concerning family and marriage. These groups support their members and stand with their families through all circumstances. Child protection committees and safe clubs have also been instrumental in responding to the needs of children and families that are facing challenges and on the brink of separation. Child ambassadors have been empowered to protect themselves and others from abuse, whilst encouraging positive behavior in their peers. The child protection committees have played a positive role as mediators in family conflicts, contributing to the reconciliation of families. We work with churches and NGOs to recruit and prepare loving families to rescue and support parentless children. This is mainly done through awareness meetings and roundtable discussions in churches and the communities. The annual celebration of Adoption Sunday in November has seen us share the message in more clear terms to a wider audience through media and in-person meetings. Church leaders and social workers are trained on how to identify, recruit, and prepare families to receive children. Over the past 3 years, we've been implementing a family strengthening project, working directly with 30 churches from 5 key denominations in the central region of Uganda. The project set out to build a citywide collaboration, leading 1,000 churches across denominations to spread the message that children are best raised in loving, safe, and secure families, and promote family-based care rather than institutional-based care. For the financial year, April 2020 to March 2021, we sought to accomplish 5 broad objectives that are highlighted below and what was achieved in each of them. First, we agreed to work together amidst the challenges of COVID-19. We worked with 5 denominations and agreed to spread the message that children need to live in safe families as well as safe from COVID-19. These messages were agreed upon through regular online and in-person meetings with 11 denominational leaders, in addition to which churches, 60 church leaders and children's workers reached out to their members through phone calls, home visits, and Sunday service. The second thing we sought out to do was to work together to see children living in safe families. Leaders have engaged their congregations in preventing abuse and family breakdown. Many children have been rescued and helped to get into safe families with support from the local churches. This has been made possible through the training of 28 workers as child safeguarding champions, working with 30 church leaders and children's workers to support children and respond to cases of abuse. 1,950 children were supported with study materials during the lockdown, and Crane was able to share over 1,000 copies of posters on COVID-19 and a comic strip that was sharing the same message. Working with Church of Uganda, we've been able to develop a positive parenting booklet that has been shared in the various dioceses of the Church of Uganda. The third thing we sought to do was to mentor coaches and church workers to respond to abuse and trauma. We sought to work through the local churches to link children into local congregations. Although this was slowed down by the COVID-19 pandemic, we were still able to see 60 church leaders and children's workers supporting 10 families each during the lockdown. 50 families were supported through the Viva Phone mentoring program. 783 church leaders from Church of Uganda were trained in positive parenting and are passing on the same teaching to others. 20 foster families were trained to be family care champions in their churches and communities. At least 2 church leaders have reported offering temporary shelter to children separated from their families. 40 church leaders and children's workers from 36 churches were trained in counseling of children, families, and finances, and 352 child abuse cases were handled. Of these, 184 were cases of resettling children with families. The fourth thing we set out to do was to support churches to develop local church initiatives. We see the majority of churches that we are working with becoming better at responding to the needs of children. We have more parents who are willing to be trained and provide emergency foster care homes for children. 91 individuals were engaged in a roundtable discussion with 6 denominations represented. This has opened doors for other roundtable discussions to happen. 24 families are being matched with foster children. 40 children from a childcare institute that is part of Alliance for Uganda Without Orphans, one of our church partners, have been placed with 26 families in eastern Uganda. The fifth thing we sought to do was to promote attitude change in the community. Pastors and workers came together and learned in trainings and shared their learnings with others. We must continue to develop these budding relationships through which we've been able to engage 1,678 children, 1,100 adults, and over 2,000 congregations in the World Weekend of Prayer. This was done through in-person meetings, radio talk shows, as well as on national TV. We utilized 720 minutes of radio talk show as part of the Adoption Sunday awareness, and 30 churches are continuing to share the message of family care for children through Adoption Sunday and the Good Treatment campaign. We ask that you join us even as we share the message of children belong in safe and loving families. Thank you.